This was kind of expected.
So amazing. Everyone, please welcome to the show, Ty Smith.
What is really on Fokios and Fokaramas? I'm Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man. Welcome to my channel, Modern Renaissance Man. If you are someone that's been subscribed to my channel for a long time, double check to make sure that you are. But if you are fairly new to the channel, get an idea of what this channel is about. What do? Go to my channel, click on playlist. All these different things I do on this channel. See all these different thumbnails? Those are all different categories of things that I do on this channel, from comedy to cooking to DIY when it comes to fixing cars. There's a lot of things I do on this channel. So check the channel out in its entirety before you subscribe. I'm pretty sure you'll find something on here that you like. What's going on, folks? Appreciate you guys all being here. Make sure you follow me up here, over there, down there, right here. I'm also on Twitter as The Real Ty Smith, and I have another YouTube channel called Man, Husband, Father. Please go and follow me at all those spaces there, right? Really appreciate it if you would do that. All right, folks, so this big, huge news just dropped here about Donald Trump not getting what they anticipated. According to what they ruled, Trump is not immune from prosecution in the 2020 election case. Federal appeals court ruled this. Because Trump tried to claim presidential immunity that prevented him from any type of prosecution while he was in office. So in other words, this is what happened. They're trying to say Trump's team, Trump's legal team is saying, and what they're arguing is, while they're trying to go after Trump for the 2020 election interference, they're saying that he was a sitting president and should have immunity. He was not out of the office yet when they tried to come after him. So pretty much the federal appeals court rejected this. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do something afterwards. Trust me when I tell you. Trust me, they are. Anyway, check this video out real quick.
So there is breaking news now from the federal appeals court that has now ruled that former President Donald Trump does not have immunity. This in the January 6th matter that deals directly with the special prosecutor, Jack Smith. The decision marks the second time in as many months that judges have turned away Trump. Now, the trial had been set for March, but it was postponed about a week ago, and the judge did not set a new date. Whether that changes, we do not know. But you can expect appeals from the Republican nominee leader that ultimately could reach the U.S. Supreme Court. Jonathan Turley with us now. Sir, if you can hear me okay, does this surprise you, yes or no?
No, this is the result that some of us predicted. The panel was very skeptical of these arguments. What former President Trump was advancing was a sweeping and unprecedented claim of immunity. And it's not surprising that this panel rejected it. The interesting thing about this opinion is that they cite the impeachment and quote from it as saying that the president sought to incite this effort to overturn the election. And that's going to go now forward. The most practical impact of this appeal was indeed the delay that it caused. It was very important for the Trump team to try to push this trial back. They succeeded in doing that, as you mentioned. Now, the next stage here is that they can ask for review of the entire court in what's called an en banc petition. That has to be reviewed and voted on, even if they reject it, and that'll take some time. And then they will no doubt appeal to the Supreme Court, which now has a considerable stack on the desks of these justices, including election-related cases.
Jonathan, if you're like in an emergency room, they have triage and the most serious cases go to the top. Is that how the Supreme Court would consider these cases?
Yeah. Well, it's very interesting. It's an excellent question, Dana. The interesting dynamic about this case is that Jack Smith has been telling every court it's absolutely urgent that we move this trial forward. And he was made it clear that he wants this president tried and convicted before the election. The Supreme Court clearly didn't share that urgency. It refused to do that. And so it's not clear that they're going to feel even greater urgency now. The March date is not on the calendar anymore. And as we move towards the election date, it gets more controversial to have a trial of this kind within a couple of months of the election. Yeah. So we'll have to see how the Supreme Court deals with this. The outcome is not surprising for many of us, but what remains the unknown is how this will change the schedule and dynamic of the case.
Mm-hmm. Just to keep the flow chart going here, aren't we 48 hours away from oral arguments before the High Court on a different matter? And that is the Colorado ballot decision, where a group of unelected judges decided to keep Trump off the ballot. That's Thursday, right?
Yeah, we are. And that's going to be a huge case. Many of us believe the court is going to set aside the Colorado decision. The question is whether the three justices on the left will join in what most of us hope will be a rejection of Colorado. This is a very dangerous theory that recently came into vogue. I don't believe that it's well-founded historically or textually. But the question for Chief Justice Roberts is likely to be whether he can eke out a unanimous decision. Because if the court ever spoke with one voice, this is that moment. This is the moment the court's designed for. And so the court's going to look at three questions. And I think Roberts is going to try to hone the questions to try to garner that type of broader support.
Was there a better legal argument that the Trump team could have put forward in this case?
Well, they went for the whole Megillah here. I mean, it was very surprising because the question of presidential immunity has been batted around in the Supreme Court for decades. The most important period involved President Richard Nixon. And the court did recognize presidential immunity, but it also had some caveats. And we saw those exceptions come to bear. For example, Bill Clinton lost another sweeping argument over immunity. And what the panel here is saying is that it just won't go there. It's not going. It basically said, look, whatever immunity you had as president, you don't have it as a citizen. And so you are now Donald Trump, not President Donald Trump, and we're not going to extend this immunity to you. They'll get a lot of support for that. The question, however, is whether the opinion goes too far on the edges. That could cause concern for some on the Supreme Court. They may want to tack back a little, even if they ultimately ultimately accept the conclusion.
Well, sir, thank you for jumping on the phone here. Stand by one moment. We're going to the DOJ and David Spun to get more on this. And David, what do you have from there?
We are waiting some reaction from Jack Smith's team to see if the special counsel is weighing in. This is clearly a win for him, a unanimous decision, as Professor Turley was just discussing with you. This is a 57-page order. It was argued, this issue of presidential immunity, before the Circuit Court of Appeals back on January 9th. Almost 1 month later, we are getting this order today. So we thought there may have been some sort of internal argument perhaps between the three justices that heard this specific case. But on page 57, it ends with, quote, "Finally, we are unpersuaded by his argument," meaning Donald Trump's argument, "that this prosecution is barred by, quote, double jeopardy principles. Accordingly, the order of the district court is affirmed." Now, the district court ruling that Trump is not immune from any sort of prosecution here. And this just begs the question, Bill and Dana, when Donald Trump will go to trial. The trial was scheduled here to begin in Washington, D.C. On March 4th. That has essentially stopped since mid-December to allow the Trump team to prepare for this. Now that the U.S. Court of Appeals has ruled against the former president, he has the right to take this to the Supreme Court. From what we understand, he has up to 90 days. So it's likely he will wait until that point. But I'm also told by sources in Jack Smith's office, I was told a couple of weeks ago, that it's likely that the special counsel will try to get this expedited to the Supreme Court because he wants to get this back on track as soon as possible.
See, y'all heard that as well, right? They're going to appeal it. And just like I said earlier, I don't think that it was something that was a surprise. You know, they were kind of anticipating this to happen. The question is going to be, now that this is going to be making its way up to the Supreme Court, how do y'all think the Supreme Court is going to rule? That's going to be the big question right there. Trump has like how many cases now at the Supreme? He got the Colorado thing at the Supreme Court. This is at the Supreme Court. Honestly, in my opinion, I told y'all, I don't care what you say. Y'all can say what you want. You just, I'm going to say it anyway. Technically, Trump still was the president when all that happened. And then with the election interference, I'm trying to figure out like how, like I'm serious. How? To those of you that wanted some shape, form, or fashion of something that you wanted to see when it came to this, see if I can bring this up. There it is right there. This is what came up. If you want to, pause the video right now so you can read this. This is straight from the court. I thought it was another page, though. I could have sworn it was another page. Maybe I got it wrong, but I thought it was another page. Says 1 of 1. Yeah, so there it is right there. You guys can all see it. Like I said, you can pause it and go through it and see this right here. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what your thoughts is on this. Do you think, I mean, I told y'all, I don't care whether you for Trump or against Trump. I like to hear both sides. I know there's one particular person in here. She knows who she is. I like to hear what you got to say on this as well. Like, do you think that they ruled right? Do you think that they ruled wrong? If you do think that the court ruled right, state your opinion, because there are people that follow my channel, folks, that are Democrat. I'm just letting y'all know. No hate towards them at all. No hate towards people that are Republican. What am I? I'm neither. I'm just Ty, period. Well, no, we can tell by, no, you can't. You're not going to box me. I already told you, you can say what you want to. You're not going to box me. Yeah, but most of the things you say lines up with, it doesn't matter. It's either it all does or it all doesn't. So that's what I'm saying. You're not going to box me. Anyway, folks, do you think this is still part of the whole witch trials or hunt and all this to really come at Trump? Do you think they're really just trying to completely bankrupt the man to where he can't just have no fight in this at all? I don't know. My point is, I want to hear y'all thoughts on that. Make sure y'all go into those cell phones, go in your contact list. Can y'all at least let one person know about this channel today? One of you guys left a comment on there, and I really appreciate it. You told me you told your son and his girlfriend about the channel. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about right there. I really appreciate when y'all do that. And what's crazy is that those other people respond and say, hey, my mom sent me here and told my girlfriend about it. I love that. Appreciate y'all doing that. Make sure you hit that like button before y'all get out of here. We'll see, folks. Supreme Court, we will see. This is going to get pretty hot during this coming election year. I'm telling you. I am Ty Smith, model Renaissance man, hoping and praying that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I pray every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus. What's going on, everybody? So, hey, check this out. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to view these videos. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also right here is where you can catch the next video, the latest video that I've done. But like right up here, this is stuff that I've done kind of in the past. So in this area, you might find a video that I've done in the past. It can be funny, it can be something serious. It does not matter. But this is something that you can also do to check out more material that I do in my channel, because I do a lot in this channel, all right? So again, appreciate everything from you guys. Keep on watching it, keep on supporting it, and God bless you all.